Hey guys, this is the Cam and Punk video today, and today I'm going to be ranking my top 5 best and top 5 worst games I've ever played. I'm going to be starting with the worst games. The worst game's going to be right here, right? Okay, so for my number 5 worst games that I've played is Injustice 2. Injustice 2 was not the worst game I've ever played. It is a bad game in my opinion though. With the finishers not doing as much damage as I like, and most characters just not doing that much damage, I believe that Injustice 2 is one of the worst games that I've ever played. And I just feel like the finishers weren't as strong as they should have been. The moves weren't as strong as they should have been. They also downscaled a lot of characters. I understand you have to make the game fair, but then just make some characters stronger and some characters weaker, but then give those weaker characters some unique features. Like they should have made the Flash have like a super speed thing where the other person gets slower, or they could have made Superman's laser beams actually do more damage. But instead, they kind of just made everybody at the same scale, same pace, same everything. Same powers, same abilities. Which I understand for newer players makes it easier, but for older players, I do not believe that it will make, for a longevity, I just didn't believe that it would make the game fun. So that's why I'm putting it at my number 5 worst games. At number 4, I think I have, let me check, I'm using it on my phone. At number 4, I have the Spyro game on Nintendo Switch. I love Spyro as a TV character and as a person, but the way that they made that game just wasn't fun. It kind of reminded me of, a certain E.T. game, but, way better. Spyro is at number 4 because it isn't the greatest game. I would not suggest playing it. But it's not as horrible as the other 3 on this list. At number 3, I am putting any RPG ever. For me, personally, I hate RPGs. RPGs are kind of like the bottom of the bin barrel for me. I do not enjoy, I don't enjoy RPGs. And I personally just believe that they shouldn't be the main focus of a game. I believe that having an RPG mechanic or having a thing that makes you be able to maybe have an RPG in your game is great. But I believe I'm more focused on the story games and more of a story on the intentions of the game than being a person in the game. I feel like having yourself have to be forced into the game and make those decisions can be fun, but a lot of those games butcher that system. And since Warner Brothers patented one of the systems, the best one out there, it's kind of just been the RPGs haven't been too good. Okay, at my number 2, I have Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Forbidden West, to me, was just a major letdown game. I personally believe that Horizon Forbidden West could have been a way better game than it was. And for me, it's like if Spider-Man 2 was horrible. I had the hype going into this, and I played it, and it just wasn't that fun. I really believe that it could have been a better game. And at my number 1, only old heads know about this game, but it's the E.T. for the Atari. And the only reason I have it here is because of the biggest letdown that happened. Back then, we had games like Mario, which weren't that bad. People old Mario. Personally, I find it kind of endearing. I kind of find it fun to play older Marios. I'm more of a Nintendo person. But the way that the E.T. game botched it is that made some people love the E.T. movies to completely hating them. That's how bad this game was. Let me dim it down for you. If I don't like Horizon Forbidden West or I don't like any RPGs, I'd rather play those games for 80 hours straight than play one lick of this E.T. game. This game has the littlest effort cash grab game, and this is an older game. Think about this. This is before all the video game hype came out, and they still were doing cash grabs, okay? This is my top 5 worst video game list. At my best video game list, at number 5, I have Insomniac Spider-Man. Jedi Survivor. At number 5, I have Jedi Survivor. Jedi Survivor was a really fun game in my opinion. I love the mechanics and I love doing this stuff. I haven't got to get Jedi the second one yet, so maybe I'll get that, and that might push this off the list. But personally, I love this game. This really got me into survival games. It got me into story games, and I just personally believe that this is one of the best games that I have ever played. I want to hear what you guys think, but I personally believe that it is. At number 4, I have Insomniac Spider-Man number 1. Insomniac Spider-Man was such a big cultural event, and it impacted so many people. Insomniac Spider-Man went from a low bottom of Spider-Man's games went from low bottom of the bin games where it was okay, I guess you can swig around and fight some interesting opponents sometimes. And I'm not saying those old games weren't fun. I'm just saying that you were gonna drop $60 on a game for those games. But Insomniac Spider-Man really changed the game. It really went from Spider-Man games are all that to dang, yo, we gotta go get this new Spider-Man game now. And it really just changed the game. And personally, I believe that is great. That is better than what most games have been able to do. and it's a little bit lower because it's a pretty old game, but I really do enjoy it. And I really love the system, the fighting, and it really just brought me a new way to see video games as a whole. And that Aunt May death, bro, that if there was a choice to save Aunt May or save the city, a lot of people would have chosen to save Aunt May. At number 3, I have Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 was just building upon Spider-Man 1, but it had one of my favorite characters, y'all, Miles Morales. I know what you're saying. Yep, let me hear it. Yeah, Miles Morales. Miles Morales. And personally, that's just why I have it above Spider-Man 1. Miles Morales is great at most things. I love Miles Morales. I love the gameplay. The suit wasn't it, but I just loved the story and him talking to that girl. And then I also loved how Spider-Man was having to fight with his problems in this game. Personally, I believe that Spider-Man 2 is the best superhero game of all time before the Arkham Knights games, but that is my personal opinion, and I'm curious to hear what you guys think. At number 2, I have GTA. Not GTA 6, GTA 5. The reason I have GTA 5 so high is just because the freedom that this game gives you. The freedom that this game gives you is so high and it's so fun. In any other game, if you were to grab a plane and fly over and just start bombing stuff, you're done. You're not. The game's going to be put you in jail and you're never going to be able to play again. But this game, you can do that, and then all you got to do is pay for it. If you crash it, you got to pay for it again. If you don't crash it, you can put it in storage. This game has the freedom of no other game that I've ever seen. The freedom of this game is so unique and interesting in the way this game works and the funness of it and the dynamics of it. I just find it so fun and so endearing and so interesting. The reason I won't be playing GTA 6 is because apparently you're going to go to jail for stuff that you do in the game for that certain amount of time. So if you steal a car, you're going to be there for 2 days in real life time. And I just find that really not as fun as the original game. And as my number 1, drum roll please, I have God of War. God of War really is just the greatest game that I've ever played. The graphics are beautiful. The story is top tier with some of the best story movies I've ever watched. If they were just to put this into a movie, I think a lot of people would watch it. Especially because they're coming out with another game, and I'm 100% getting that game once I get a PS5. And I just really love this game. I love the dynamics. I love the father-son thing, and I really just love how the story shifts and changes, but it feels natural. It feels it feels normal, you know? The story went from we're gonna spread the ashes to highest point, and then they're doing that, but they're also fighting the gods. It really just added a nice dynamic shift to it that most other games would try to force to be shoot, we have to fight all the gods and kill them. No, Kratos didn't go out of his way in the previous games to go kill the gods. He really said, no, I have a mission. I need to spread my wife's ashes. And instead of changing that or fighting that, he went and did that. And then his son, watching him go through knowing that he's a god and going through that was just so interesting and so cool to watch. That was my top 5 best, my top 5 worst, and best games. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Make sure to hit that like and sub button at the bottom, and I'll see you in the next one.